And so let's continue. Cleansing from infectious skin diseases. The Lord said to Moses, "These are the regulations for the diseased person at the time of his ceremonial cleansing. When he is brought to the priest is to go outside the camp and examine him. If the person has been healed of his infectious skin disease, the priest shall order that 2 live clean birds and some cedar wood, scarlet yarn, and hyssop be brought for the one to be cleansed. Then the priest shall order that one of the birds be killed over fresh water in a clay pot. He is then to take the live bird and dip it, together with the cedar wood, the scarlet yarn, and the hyssop, into the blood of the bird that was killed over the fresh water. 7 times he shall sprinkle the one to be cleansed of the infectious disease, and pronounce him clean. Then he is to release the live bird in the open fields. The person to be cleansed must wash his clothes, shave off all his hair, and bathe with water. Then he will be ceremonially clean. After this, he may come into the camp, but he must stay outside his tent for 7 days. On the 7th day, he must shave off all his hair. He must shave his head, his beard, his eyebrows, and the rest of his hair. He must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water, and he will be clean." What kind of thoughts or feelings come to mind when we read this? Could you imagine having to do that? If you end up picking up accidentally or just having a disease, a skin disease, and then seeing the priest and then having to, wanting to be cleansed, going through this procedure and then having to shave everything off. Could you imagine? Hair does grow back, but I do know a lot of people are very sensitive about their hairs, the hair on top of their head. They don't want to have any type of issues when it comes to the hair on top of their head, even when they go and get it trimmed up. So, what kind of thoughts or feelings do you feel when you read this portion? Is there anything that you can think of that comes to mind while you're reading this? I know one thing is, unfortunate thing that comes to mind is people that go through cancer, when they go through the chemo treatment and their hair falls out. And there's also people that I know when they have a loved one that's going through that, they also shave their head or get rid of their hair, and kind of to honor that person, or, provide comfort for that person that's going through the treatment. Is there anything that you can think of that has a similar effect? While we're reading this, does this bring to mind anything else, maybe? I know this is the living word, so anytime we read it, and we go through, even as a study, even things that I may say or feel may not be the same things that you may feel or even hear or see. I know sometimes in my own Bible study or Sunday classes that I go to, the instructor or the teacher will be teaching, and I'll have a point, and it's usually led from a booklet, whatever point may be for that study or lesson. And a lot of times I get something completely different. We just read the same verses. We just went through the same information. However, the Lord's speaking to me, and what I'm getting is completely different from even what they're trying to dictate in the lesson. And that's okay. And that is okay for that to happen. And when that happens, if there is a concern, take that opportunity to pray with people. Have yourself a prayer. Think about what's being told to you. If there's no concern, then take that information, especially when it comes with, because you'll know it'll be knowledge. It'll be knowledge, and it'll be right. It'll be correct. It'll make you happy.